Hello, welcome back everyone. Today we're going to be making some custom Japanese udon soup, one of my favorite soups. We're going to make it a little bit different. We're going to use some frozen noodles. You can actually buy them fresh. We use the frozen one just because we'd like to keep them in stock in our freezer. We're going to be using some fish instead of some shrimp. If you have some shrimp, it tastes really well with shrimp as well. Some fish cakes, of course, and some imitation crab meat. Now, if you actually have real crab, it would taste wonderful just because of the freshness of the crab. And of course, we're gonna go ahead and add additional fish cakes that we got from the Asian store. They're a little bit more bulkier, they're not just for garnishment. And of course, we have some panko breading and some liquid breading as well. So there's a bunch of different types of fish cakes that you can get. I don't think you can go wrong with any of them. So we're just gonna go ahead and add a few here, and also the udon soup base. Okay, so they come in packs. If you have them in a container, great. We just happen to have a pack here. So let's get started, and hopefully this turns out well for us. So here we go. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna boil some water. We're making 2 servings today, so I'm boiling about 6.5, 7 cups of water, and we're putting some wonton soup base onto it. Now, why is that? It's just because I like the taste of wonton, but I also like the taste of udon. So there's no reason that you can't mix both of them or the taste. Remember, I told you a recipe is just a version of someone's different taste. So however you want to make this soup taste like, you can literally do it at your discretion. So here, in this case, we're mixing the wonton soup base with the udon soup base, and I've done this before and it tastes really well. It's a cross between the two soups. Why not get the best of, right? So here we go. Again, some of these comes in a pack or a sachet just like this, or sometimes they come in a big container so that you can actually just continue to add them to your soup. Have them added in there. You're just gonna want to kind of mellow it down. We're doing two things at the same time here. We're making the soup base, plus we're making the deep fried fish and the crab meat. So we're gonna have to kind of time it properly just to make sure that one and the other does not burn up too quickly. Okay, so just be careful when you're doing two things at the same time. So we're gonna go ahead and batter up some fish and put some breading on it, and of course deep fry it and serve it with alongside with the soup. At this point, you want to make sure that the heat on the oil is not too much, that it will burn through the panko breading and the fish too quickly, just because of the fact that these are thinner fish. They're not very bulky, so they do cook rather fast. So just be very careful with that. Same thing with shrimp. Shrimps cook really fast. So if you decide to use shrimp, just be careful with the system. Okay. We've set the oil aside and it's cooking on the other burner. We're gonna go ahead and try to get our soup caught up here. We're adding the fish cakes in there. We're adding both types of fish cakes. Now, you can add a lot of different things in a soup, and a lot of people will put peas and carrots in there. That's fine. A lot of people will put some eggs in there. That's fine. In this situation, I just don't want it to be too much, too bulky. So I'm just doing the fish cakes and some onions in there. If you have some cilantro, it tastes really good with cilantro, and of course some green onions and mushrooms. Okay, so again, you build the specific soup that you want. So now we're gonna go ahead and put the noodles in here just to make sure that we can get them thawed out. Do not overcook noodles, because when you overcook noodles, it does tend to get a little soggy and it does not have the right texture when you're eating them. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that I blanch this properly, that the noodle starts to separate from each other, and then when I maybe 2 or 3 minutes after that, they are ready to be put on a bowl, just waiting for the broth itself at the very end. My goodness, I can already smell it. It smells wonderful. So I really can't wait to start eating and drinking some of this soup. And it's really cold out here right now, so it's really gonna be nice and warm as I eat this. Okay, the noodles look like it's getting to the point where it's a little bit closer to being done. The easiest way to do it is just grab one, feel it, bite onto it, just to make sure that it's cooked thoroughly and that it's not frozen in the middle or still may not be ready. So as soon as this is done, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and start picking them off and then putting them in a bowl. Again, you can literally take this whole thing and dump it on a bowl, but you got to remember to make sure everything is ready, because if not, what's going to happen is while the soup base is in there, it's going to continue to cook that noodle and it may overcook it. So be very careful. Now that everything is done, the fish is done, the crab cakes or the crab meat is done, we're gonna go ahead and add some broth into this while the broth is still very, very hot, so that we can enjoy everything all at the same time and still have it really warm, as if it just came off of the pot and nothing has gotten to the point where it got cold or it got soggy or anything like that. When you're eating or drinking some of these soup, you want to make sure that it's really hot. We're gonna go ahead and put some green onions on top. Some people will put some cilantro, or maybe even a couple of maybe half a tablespoon of sesame seed. So here it is, and hopefully you enjoyed the video.